Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another day. It is Finish Line, our official podcast show, Fox Sports Radio, Community Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes Radio. Wesley Outland here with you. Hey, I am a little bit under the weather. I hope I'm not coming down sick. Maybe being on the road for the last month has affected me. I don't know. I got to go take some fluids, medication, or something to build back up my spirits because we got races coming up here. We'll talk about that, a whole bunch more. But with that being said, we do welcome you to the show. It's our third edition of Finish Line, our official podcast. And got a good show for you here in just a little bit. But, again, thank you so much for joining us. I'll get my spirits back up here in a few moments. Like I said, I just haven't been feeling very good here the last day or two, actually. So, under the weather would be an understatement because I don't feel sick. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe my body is just drained from the travel and the work and going, lack of sleep for a better word, being away from home for almost a month. Hey, but that's part of the job though, right? One thing for certain, Racing Susan's truly here again. Welcome to Undisputed, unrealistic, unscripted, and unrehearsed. This is Finish Line, a weekly podcast talking about the positive and negative of motorsports, asking the questions to drivers, promoters, and personalities, getting the information and responses of the sport others dare to ask or yet even discuss. This is Finish Line. This radio podcast is from the heart, an in-depth analysis of everything in NASCAR, NHRA, IHRA, IndyCar, grassroots motorsports, asphalt, dirt, drag racing, karting, tractor pulling, boat racing, demolition derbies, and so much more. From touring events to national, regional, weekly, and more, this is the official podcast where the bull stops here. Whether it's asphalt, dirt, or drag racing, or anything else in life that we accomplish, there is always a finish line. Of course, I'm your host, Wesley Outland. Welcome to the show. Got a great show for you here today. As Candice Keeley will be joining me. We might be calling her via phone, though, because obviously I know she's got a lot going on. So, I'm trying to get that all arranged right now. So, the weather affected a lot of things here at Bubba Raceway Park. It has rained since yesterday morning. It is cloudy and overcast, and they are preparing for their final round of Speed Weeks, or Bubba Army Winter Nationals, if you want to call it that. So, we will try to touch base with Candice Keeley here. And while we're doing that, let's just talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of motorsports. There's a lot of cool things happening. NASCAR was at Atlanta Motor Speedway over the weekend for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. When the race concluded for the Cup Series, it was, of course, Brad Keselowski fighting flu-like symptoms to prevail and get himself a big win in the Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. They make their trip now on the West Coast swing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That'll be going on this weekend. We'll also recap things that went on at Hendry County Speedway. We'll talk about what's going on at Cherokee Speedway and a whole bunch more. So, again, this is Finish Line. Follow us on social media. And, of course, at Fox Sports Radio, at CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then, of course, also when you get a chance to, go to Dirts for Racing at Dirts for Racing on Facebook, of course, at Bubba Raceway Park, as we will have in a few moments Candice Keeley joining me live on set. I know she is a busy lady. I know there is a lot of work going on, moving slop and mud puddles and water and everything around in the pit area to try to get these beautiful, fancy, smancy-looking race haulers in for a weekend of racing. And we'll talk about that. It's their final stage of what is the Bubba Army Winter Nationals. Recapping what went on at Atlanta, I thought that it was a good race. I thought the aero package lived up to its potential. I do still think that there's things that they need to tweak and improve on and do more of. However, give them time. Give them time. Again, obviously, the Daytona 500 was a totally different scenario in a race than what everybody had anticipated or thought that it was going to be. And I believe that by the time we get to Bristol, before Talladega in April, we're really going to be able to see our cards laid on the table of what this new aero package is going to be, what it's going to do, and a whole lot more. So, again, welcome to Finish Line. I'm Wesley Outland. Again, we have got a great show for you here for the next hour. We're going to be joined by Candice Connors Keeley of Bubba Raceway Park in just a few moments, and a great story about her. And we'll dabble on that and talk about that more whenever she's on set. In addition to being a female in motorsports, to being a founder of Dirts for Racing for Street Stocks in the FMS Action Series, or the FMS Action Series, she's the only general manager female in racing that is not family related in Florida. And possibly in all of motorsports. So we'll talk about that here in just a few moments. Want to send a shout out to my buddy Jason Beckner and his daughter Victoria. Everybody in Hendry County went there in the Everglades of South Florida this past weekend with the Southern States Midget Series and the Southeastern Sprint Car Series. What a great show that was. Great turnout for the midgets and the mini sprints. The mini sprints are a totally different car than the midget cars are, but they can be able to run in equal form with them. And one of the things that I enjoyed seeing was we had a mini sprint in Robbie Hoffman win on Friday night, and a national midget, or D2 midget of Connor Leffler out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, win over the mini sprints on Saturday night because Zach Gorski and Robbie Smith and a whole bunch of other guys were neck and neck, and they were bumping and banging in great contact. They took each other out racing for the win with like 2 laps to go. And of course, in the sprint cars, only 10 cars showed up, but the USAC National guys of Joey Biasi, the Mary D. Missile, the Bear Chris Wyndham, Quick Time Carson Short, and then, of course, Isaac Chappell from Willow Branch, Indiana. Those 4 guys, phenomenal. Not knocking any of the other guys, or the lady, Eileen Collins Love. What a phenomenal job she did in the Eagle Jet Sprint Car 360. Totally underpowered. But she went out there and she did a phenomenal job. Yeah, she spun out a couple of times, did some 360s, but she hit the gas and kept right on going and gave those men a run for their money. A great time had in the Everglades of South Florida. Crowd was dismal on Friday night. A better turnout on Saturday night for the Swamp Cabbage Nationals. So, again, hey, by the way, I got a quick announcement to make. We have a new sponsor for the Finish Line podcast. I would like to welcome All About Wraps to the fold of being a sponsor for all of our podcasts on Finish Line. Again, if you need to have a wrap job done on your race car, your motorcycle, your personal vehicle, whatever it is, modifieds, legend cars, you name it, let All About Wraps take care of you. That's allaboutwraps.com. You can also follow them on Facebook at All About Wraps. So, we're going to be joined here in a few minutes by Candice Keeley. I think she's getting her makeup done, I believe. Do what? She says, I don't think so. So, she's quiet on the set right now, I guess is what we're talking about. So, here we go. Yeah, I was ready for you. Always ready for you. For work is what I meant. Yeah. For work. Always ready for you. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I sound like crap today.
You're catching the funk.
I think
the Florida funk.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just been on the road for a month and just going or what. I don't know. I mean,
Mother Nature's bipolar. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
It definitely is. Right now it's cloudy and 74 degrees, and in the Everglades it was sunny and 90-something degrees. I'm not lying to you, people. It was 90-something degrees in the Everglades of South Florida. You guys are getting ready for summer.
Absolutely. Well, it's summer year-round.
Summer year-round,
We get a couple days of winter. If it gets to 70, we got to break out the hoodies.
Well, you have been on the go since, 5 o'clock this morning?
Correct.
Dropping kids off to school, driving from not only Ocala, Florida, back to the other side of the state of Florida to Ormond Beach, just outside of Daytona, coming back here. You've been on the front end loader. You've been on the grader, the green Lula machine there out there, trying to clean the property, trying to dry things off, and it's race weekend, I guess, is a better lack of word to say, and looks like the weather's letting up as well. You even got people cleaning off the RV.
Yes, we have a gentleman here that if they have their RVs and their haulers, that they will detail them for them. We try to make people as comfortable as possible and keep it as affordable as possible. So when they come, they don't pay to camp here, and we don't charge for four-wheelers. We don't charge for their golf carts. We keep the prices as cheap as possible, so that way people are going to come for a few days. Some of our campers, I call them my villagers, are here from January until April, and we love them. I call it our family reunion for Speed Week. So I look forward to them each year, So my villagers are out there. They're great. And then each week that we have a different event, you'll have the ones that come for the sprint cars, and they'll only be here for those days. And then I'll have my late model dedicated fans that will only come for those days. So there's definitely a transition, and you'll see a flow of different people across the month. But I move in on January 28th, and I don't leave until the second weekend of March, usually during Speed Weeks.
And that's the honest truth. She stays in the back of the pit area.
Yep.
Set up and in your own little world, but you do have a fun world. You go and you mingle with the drivers and with their families, but you're working. I mean, You're working. You literally have got up this morning at 5 a.m. and you're on the go. You get the kids to school, and then you're right back here to the racetrack working. And to top it off, you fought some serious illnesses last week. I'm glad that you are doing a lot better as well, because the last time I saw you for the USAC deal, I thought you were on your deathbed.
I had pneumonia for most of Speed Weeks, and we did the hot, cold, hot, cold. Mother Nature did her thing.
Yes.
And I haven't been sick in years. So I was like,